Alright, so Go did his frame by frame timing guide for Twitch, so I'm going to show it for YouTube. We use Matt's frame by frame timer. There is another one. I'll have that linked as well. I don't know how to personally use it. You would have to ask somebody else. I've never used it. I use Matt's because it's, in my opinion, just easier. So I'm going to show you how to use that one. I'm going to show it for tutorial, practice range. This is tank practice range, but practice range for the most part is all the same. Actually, no, it literally is all the same, not for the most part. It is all the same. 50 limbs and then individual heroes, since these are the most popular categories currently. So that's, obviously what I'm going to do. I'm going to show the 4 most popular categories. If anybody has any questions about like category extensions, what the frames are on there, like Hammond percent, suicide percent, Lucio rollouts, then just PM me on Discord and I'll let you guys know. So the first frame, or first off, you want to, the way you use this is by frame rate and copying your debug info on the frames. So to find your frame rate, you would hit stats for nerds, right? So you'd hit stats for nerds, it would pop up with this box. And you want to check under current/optimal res, it'd be 1280 by 720 at 60 frames. So 60 frames is our frame rate for that video. So you type in 60, and then that's the frame rate. Now the first frame for tutorial, this is for any tutorial. I think before, it would start a bit before Tracer, like the second you would look up after this portion, it would start. But now they've kind of fine-tuned it more, so now it's whenever you see soldiers crosshair. So you would start it the second you see soldiers crosshair, and the way I'm frame by frame going through this is by hitting period and comma on my keyboard. If you're on like smartphone or a device that doesn't have a keyboard, I'm not exactly sure how you would do it. I don't even know if it's possible to do it, so you just find that first frame that you see soldiers crosshair, and it's usually right after, yes, that text on the bottom with Athena pops up. It's literally right after that. If you see there's a little pink dot that goes up above Tracer's like arrow, like right above the arrow under Tracer's name, there's a pink dot. So that's the first frame right there. You would copy the debug info, put it into the starting frame, and then the last frame for tutorial is the first frame of it fading white. That is what we consider the first frame of complete, not whenever you actually see the text complete. So if you go right here, so you'll just see that, and then it'll go like that. That is the first frame. So then you would copy that. You just copy debug info and then paste it in your starting frame and ending frame, and then you click compute time, and then that would be the correct time. I know it doesn't say the correct time here. It has been fixed on Spearn.com. I just am lazy and don't want to change titles. So that's how you would do it for tutorial. Now onto practice range. There are 2 different ways you would time it for practice range. The first is if you double click on the hero select, and the second is if you hit continue. In individual heroes, I'll show you what it looks like if you hit continue. But basically, for this, you want to see the first frame that the HUD, if you just double click on the character, the first frame that the HUD disappears. So right here, this would be your first frame. Irregardless of what hero you're selecting, this would be your first frame. So then you would just copy debug info, put in the frame rate. All my videos are at 60. All the videos I have are at 60 frames, so I don't have to do the stats for nerds stuff. But if you're not certain, you can always, click stats for nerds and then check. So you would copy the first frame, and then the second or last frame is the second that your character goes fully through the respawn door. And I'll show you how you can look for that. So here, I'm walking into the frame, I'm walking into the door, and if you see right here on this frame, you can see this. I actually don't know if I have my cursor showing on OBS, but basically you'll see on the bottom left under Zarya's portrait, you'll see the cross that's right there. Once you completely can't see that cross, that's considered inside. So then that's the first frame. So you would copy that, the debug info for that, and then compute the time. And then, yeah, that's the time. And that's how you do PR if you double click on the hero. I will be showing you in individual heroes. 50 Limbs has a lot of weird framing on how you would do it. The first frame is really simplistic, but the second frame is weird because sometimes it pops up at a weird time, and so you can't frame it properly. So basically, the first frame would be the first frame is the second that it hits 459. That is the first frame. So you would copy that, and then Gode's videos at 60 FPS. At 60 FPS. Oh, by the way, I'm using Gode's 50 LM run because I don't have a PC 50 LM, and I'm personally not going to show my console run because it's atrocious. So yeah. So you copy the starting frame, and the end frame is the second you see 50 eliminations. So I will show exactly what that looks like. So you'd see 45 there, and then the second, there's like a frame in between. So the second you see 45 disappear, right here, the second you see this appear, the 50, that is the first frame. So you would copy that and then paste it in, and then that would compute the time. So yes, that would compute the time, and then that's how you do 50 elims. Now on to practice range. I'm using Dax Run. He's currently third place for the soldier category for individual heroes. So I'm going to show you how it looks whenever you do continue. So for continue, it's slightly different because it looks slightly different. It's basically the same though. It's on the first frame that you don't see the HUD. So this is considered the first frame after clicking continue. So you would copy the debug info here. So this is the first frame before it. This is the first frame, and then you can't really tell a difference after that. So you want to look for this frame. And then you would copy that, paste it into there. And then the end frame is whenever you kill this final bot. So right here, this would be considered eliminating this bot because it has no HP and it's about to blow up. That is the first frame. So you would copy that debug info, and oh, I didn't put a frame rate. Obviously put the frame rate, and then compute it, and then that would be the time. And basically that's it. Thank you for Goat and Doc for letting me use their runs, and yeah, that's it. If you have any more questions, I'll have my Discord somewhere linked, probably in the guide. You can PM me on there if you need any more help.